Hi, my name is Sarah and my channel is knottygnome Crafts. This is a channel where we talk about my love of all things fibery crafts. So if that interests you, please stay tuned. It's Vlogtober, so I'm bringing you a new video every day in the month of October, and today's video is going to be a little bit of show and tell and kind of brainstorming with me. But before we get started, I am wearing the Grain Line Scout tee out of a rayon fabric that I got from D&H Fabrics. And yeah, let's just get started. So for today's video, if you watched my Fiber Mood 16 review, when I was flipping through the magazine, it kind of sparked the idea that I might want to repurpose one of the quilts that I have in progress, one of the mini quilts, and make it into a quilted vest. There is I think it's called the Irma body warmer. There's a vest pattern in Fiber Mood that I could potentially use as a sort of starting point to see if I like the whole quilted vest coat trend. And then also I was thinking about purchasing the Megan Nielsen Hovia coat. I probably will buy that pattern at some point, but right now I do not own it. And yeah, I just thought it might be a good way to get one of those in progress quilts out of my house, since I am not actually doing any quilting at the moment. So for today's video, I went through my quilting projects in progress and pulled out a few that I thought that might work in terms of repurposing it for a vest or a coat. And I thought I would share them with you today just for a little bit of fun. So I have several different stages of projects that are in progress. This is by no means all of my quilts in progress. I have many more, but actually the ones I'm going to show you, most of them are in more advanced stages of being finished. So yeah, let's just pull one out and get started. So I had done a lot of quilt as you go type projects because I am working on my home machine, and I found it very physically difficult to try to maneuver a giant quilt, like a bed-sized quilt, through my home machine. And so a lot of these projects are like partially done quilt as you go projects. So I'm not going to show you the entire thing. I'm just going to show you like one section. So the first one that I have is, I'm pretty sure these are just charm squares. It's just a simple patchwork quilt. And this is just one section. I have other sections that are finished in my stash. Oh, and apparently there's still safety pins in here, so maybe I was still quilting it. I don't know. They definitely have quilting lines around the squares, but maybe I was gonna do some more quilting. I don't know. But yeah, these are just like scrappy patchwork charm squares, and then it has a backing of this like newspaper type print. And I'm pretty sure every backing piece of this is something different. So yeah, I mean, this is like a decently large piece of fabric. I might be able to cut, like say a back piece out of this, and then I could get like the fronts out of some of the other pieces. So that's a possibility for one project. So this next one I'm going to show you, I honestly cannot say that this is really something that I think I want to cut up and make into a garment. But I had pulled it out and like remembered it and was like, oh, I love this one. And so I kind of just wanted to share it with you. But this is I bought the book, like Liberated Medallion Quilting, a while ago. And I'll put the link to the book in the description box. And so I had made this improv medallion quilt. It's just like a baby-sized quilt out of an art gallery collection, whose name I can't remember right now. And I'm sure I added more of my own fabrics to it. But this one, I was hand quilting it, which is why it's not finished, because it takes me forever to do hand quilting. But I do think that this is really pretty, and I love the colors of it. And like theoretically, if I wanted to cut it up and make it into something else, this like center panel would make a really nice focal point for like the back of a garment. Yeah, I don't know that I would really want to go ahead and do that. I'm sorry I can't really show these to you. I'll try to like take some pictures out flat and like put them in so you can actually see what this looks like. But yeah, I do really love this piece, and I love the colors. And then the backing is just another like big piece of fabric from that same line. And the Art Gallery quilting cotton is just like a pleasure to work with. It's very soft, and it has a nice hand. So yeah, I mean, I don't know that I really want to cut this up, but it is a possibility. So this next one is another sort of project of nightmares. So like ages and ages ago, it was like the quilting world was doing these like granny square looking type scrappy blocks. And I had made a lot of them out of my scraps, and then I used like Kona ash for the background. And this is another Quilt As You Go project. So I have, I think, 3 different sections of things that just look just like this. And I had been quilting it on my machine, and the backing is just this like colorful quilting cotton. And what I can remember about this is that I gave up on it, or at least I stopped quilting it because my machine needles kept breaking. Like there's a lot of like intersecting seams in these blocks, and so it was just really hard to quilt over with what I was trying to do. And so it was kind of a nightmare, and I gave up on it. But I might have enough of these sections like finished and quilted that I could cut them up and repurpose them. It's a little bit tricky because I left like these edges unquilted so that when I eventually join the other sections, then I would theoretically go back over it and quilt those sections so that they look seamless. But yeah, like this is one thing that I actually wouldn't mind cutting it up because I don't know that I'm ever actually gonna want to finish this because it was such a nightmare to quilt. But yeah, I do like the blocks. I think that they look really pretty, and it's kind of nice to revisit old scraps and be like, oh yeah, I remember when I got that, or I remember what I used that in. So yeah, this one's like a pretty strong possibility if I wanted to actually make a vest or a coat. This next one is another one that there's lots of sections, and I'm just going to show you this one. I had been working on this Quilt As You Go project, and it's just strips of various Denise Schmidt quilting fabrics. I would say that this one would be a good candidate for, I think I was going to make these really long strips, and then I was going to join them together with like binding strips here, join the different sections together. And I do have more than one section of this like finished. So this would be a good candidate for making a jacket or a vest. However, the thing about this is that like, although I like these colors and I like it as like a fall winter quilt, I don't know that I would necessarily really want to wear this personally. But maybe, I don't know. But that's a possibility as well. This has a really low loft batting in it. It's very thin, so I don't know how warm it would be. But yeah, it's another one that I have in progress. This next one, I will not be making this into a vest or a jacket, but I thought I would just show it to you because it's a completely finished top. This, I don't remember why I made this, but it had to have been for some sort of challenge because it's kind of like a stacked coins quilt of different various sizes, like widths or whatever, and has all of these purples and golds in it. So the reason I'm saying that this had to be for a challenge is because I hate the color combination of yellow and purple. It reminds me of the LA Lakers, and I hate the LA Lakers. I've hated them since I was a teenager. So I would never, ever, ever wear something with LA Lakers colors. So I would not make this into a jacket, but I do think that like it's kind of a shame that it is purple and gold, because I think this would actually be a really good candidate in terms of like the actual styling of it to make it into a vest or a jacket. But yeah, no purple and gold for me. And actually, I don't even know what I'm going to do with this. I think, again, it must have been for a challenge. I think it was really quick to make because these stacked coin blocks are like really easy to make. So I think maybe I was going to make this and then like send it to someone else possibly. But yeah, like looking back on it, I'm like, why did I make this? Anyway, just thought I'd share that one. And then the other couple of projects that I have, these are like in the block stage, so I'd have to do quite a bit more work if I wanted to make it into a vest or something, but I just thought I would share them with you. So this one was definitely one of those like charm pack things that like I just made it into blocks, and then it's one of those things where you make the very simple blocks and then you chop them up and sew them back together again to make, and it looks like way more complex and difficult than it actually is. So these are like the final blocks. And I don't know if I'd want to wear something like this either, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, I just pulled that one out because it was in the top of the stack, because might as well share it with you. So the final thing that I have to share are just some simple 16 patch blocks. So actually these blocks were going to be combined with a solid Kelly green, and it was going to alternate like 16 patch green, 16 patch green. and it would be like a patchwork within a patchwork, I guess. But I have all of these like scrappy blocks that I think would actually be kind of cool as a coat or as a vest. But yeah, because this is in block form, I'd have to, put the motivation together to actually sew them into a configuration and then quilt it and then cut it out. But I don't know. I actually, again, I haven't actually made one of those quilted vests or coats yet. It might actually be easier to start with blocks because you could kind of make them the size of the pattern piece rather than trying to like put the pattern, like squeeze the pattern piece onto the available fabric that you have. I don't know. If you've ever made one of those quilted garments, let me know about your experience and whether you think it would be easier to start in the block stage or to start in the like partial quilt stage. I'm just curious. So that is it. Again, like I said, that is not all of my quilt projects. In fact, I can't even find all of my quilt projects. I know that I have more of them somewhere. But those are all the ones that I think could be used or repurposed for a vest or a coat. And so let me know in the comments what you think. If any of those caught your eye, if you think it would make a cool looking piece of outerwear. This is not a project that I'm going to be starting anytime in the near future. I have a lot on my plate, but maybe like in the depths of winter next year, early in 2022, when it's super cold and I just want to have something cozy to work on, I might be able to do something like that then. So let me know what you think. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I do really appreciate that you take time out of your day to tune in, and I will see you again tomorrow.